who spent the better part of his life fighting adversity. Although Robby struggled with his weight, countless injuries, and a negative self-image, he became an All-American college football player and a finalist for the best center in the country. He attended the University of Southern Mississippi with a double undergraduate in business administration and marketing and an MBA with an express in finance. After college, he realized he had to improve his health. So just as he did in football, he worked hard and educated himself to find the best strategy for his body to fight the lifelong battle with his weight, and he lost over 110 pounds.
Wow.
After his weight loss, he began a successful career as a licensed manager for an investment firm, followed by a 5-year sprint as a development manager for a commercial real estate development company. After publishing his bestseller book on the philosophy of personal transition which was quite a job to chase his dreams of helping others. Now, after keeping his weight down over the past 10 years, he has persisted and teaches the principles he has learned from life, health, and business to others. He is currently an entrepreneur, owning multiple development successful businesses, sits on the board of directors for the Mental Health Association, as well as running his own nonprofit, Rise Up, which focuses on improving the mental health of students. Robby has been featured in numerous media outlets such as Fox, ABC, Mogul, Men's Health, and presenting a book, Enter the Success Project. He currently is thriving by helping clients take their mind, body, and soul approach to biohack their life to fully realize their human potential and create miracles. Without further ado, please see our presenter,
Okay, I don't know how I'm going to follow that, guys. The bar's the best, especially after hearing amazing Kai Hayes talk. While I'm getting back there, getting emotional, just listening to that because it's so much of what I believe in, guys. But thank you so much for your time, but more importantly, thank you for your attention. You know, it's a precious gift we have to be able to sit here in a gathering like this of like-minded people and really come together, create some synergy to do something special. But I am going to kind of leave this, short presentation for you today, just kind of give you a brief look into a new paradigm shift in the way we look at health, something called biohacking. And as Greg talked about, I always love showing this, guys. That is my before and after picture right there.
Wow.
Definitely, it's been a journey. I tell people all the time that losing 115 pounds was the easy part. Keeping it off for over a decade was the hard part.
Yeah. Wow.
We know we can get initially motivated for a goal, but how hard is it to actually finish that goal? That's the hard part. And really for me, publishing the book, what inspired me to do that was, we all know this, right? There's a different diet out every day of the week. All right, how many fad diets are on the market right now? And then we have all these amazing new workout programs, new gyms popping up. So if we have all these new things happening and all this access to information that we've never had before, why is the obesity epidemic still skyrocketing? It's the missing variable that not many people are talking about, but the mental side of a health transformation. And that's what inspired the book, The Struggle is Real, because as we all know, when it comes to our health, the struggle is real. And it's an everyday, all-day process. Absolutely. So what I want to kind of go into is the state of health in America right now. You see this. It's everywhere you look. It's your family. It's your friends. it's your coworkers. And when you really look at these numbers, they're scary. 1 in 3 suffer from chronic pain. I mean, we see the opioid epidemic happening right now in America. 1 in 10 have diabetes. Look, I'm from Mississippi, the fattest state in the country. Right?
Texas is number 2.
And we're battling for it, but I think we're still winning. So, like, that's the world I grew up in, and I was a victim of that. But it's happening more and more in every state, right? 1 in 6 have arthritis. 1 in 5 have high blood pressure. 16.3 million Americans have coronary heart disease. 1 in 4 are going to die of heart disease. Look around the room right now, guys. 1 in 4 heart disease. With the amazing technology, access to information, access to healthcare we have, I mean, in America, we spend more on healthcare than any other country in the world. Yet we're still battling this, and it's getting worse every year. At the current state of America and at the rate we're going, this generation that's growing up right now will be the first generation to have a shorter lifespan than their parents. That's how bad it is right now. And it's our loved ones. It's the people we care about the most that we see them suffering. When you have conversations with people, how many times do they complain about their health in some way? You know, it's just a natural thing that they complain about. I mean, I listen to my loved ones talking about their new prescriptions and having to go to the doctor because of this, that, and the other. It's everywhere we look. So what we have is we have a country that needs help. But in America, we're addicted to something called immediate gratification. And what do most people in America do when they want to fix their health?
Eat.
Microwave something. Oh, yes.
I watched this 3 times.
Is this getting louder?
Yeah. I'm so happy.
I've seen that several times because my mom, that's all she watches in the
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
Because that's her favorite show. My mom, that's how we stay alert. Yeah, the candy factory, eating all that chocolate. Oh, yeah. That's a good one too. But this one's really fun. Oh, it is.
The answer to all your problems is in this little bottle. Vitamina Vegemin. Vitamina Vegemin contains vitamins, meat, vegetables, and minerals. Yes, with Vitamina Vegemin, you can spoon your way to health. All you do is take a tablespoonful after every meal.
Now you take some.
Oh. It's so tasty, too.
Yes.
Just like candy.
No. Look, you're supposed to like the stuff. You've got to smile, be happy.
Yes.
Now try it again.
Yes. It's so tasty, too. Just like candy.
No, once more.
It's so tasty, too. It's just like candy.
That's going to be fine. You just go ahead.
Okay. So why don't you join the thousands of happy, peppy people and get a great big bottle of Vitamina Vegemin tomorrow? That's Vitamina Vegemin.
So that's the world we live in, right? There's always a new marketed diet, a new fad that people are looking for the quick fix, right? They're looking for what's going to help them finally accomplish what they're trying to accomplish because of those numbers we looked at. People right now are looking for answers. And why are they looking for answers? Ooh. There we go. Because right now our bodies are being hijacked. And what do we mean by hijacked? So the definition of hijack is taking over something for a destructive purpose. I've been working in the health and wellness space for over a decade, about 13 years now. And this is what I've been seeing. So in America right now, one of our biggest problems is the foods we're eating. Yeah. Right? We're not eating for our health, we're eating for convenience. We're eating because we got to drive through the drive-thru because we're busy moms and we don't have time to cook. There's a lot of reasons why we're not eating the foods we're eating, and we're eating things that are not beneficial to our body. The sleep we don't get. And that's a huge problem in America right now. We're not getting enough sleep, right? The air we breathe, if you're in a toxic environment, work stress, just really stress in general. If I ever hear someone say I don't have any stress, I know they're lying because it's just simply not true. Water quality, beauty products, toxins, our bodies are being hijacked right now by a bunch of things that are not helping us. And that's really why we're seeing a lot of these epidemics we're seeing right now. So what we talk about is biohacking. And to give you a definition of that word, it actually, if you trace the word back and break it into two, go back to its original origins, bios from the Greek word bios means one's life, course, way of living, lifetime. Hacker is look guys, I'm a nerd, I'm not gonna lie. I love tracing the word hacker back to its origin, and here's why. It actually comes from MIT back in the early 80s. And it says a person who enjoys exploring the details of a programmable system and how to stretch capabilities. So when you put those two words together, a biohacker is a person who enjoys exploring the details of one's life or way of living and how to stretch their capabilities. The reason I emphasize the word programmable is as science is improving and as science is getting better, we're learning that we actually have a lot more control over our health than previously thought. How many people in the room have heard loved ones and friends saying, oh, I was just born like that. Oh, that's just my family genetics. Okay, well, I could have said that, guys. I've been overweight my entire life. Okay? Ever since I can remember, I had, emotional eating go way back as far as I can remember, and it ballooned up to that picture of me we saw I was 305 pounds. And I could have said, hey, I'm just big boned, right? I could have said that I was just born this way. But what science now shows us, and it's undeniable, is our bodies are in fact programmable just like a computer. We can actually hack our genetic code with the things we put into our body, and that gives us so much hope. Because now we realize that we don't have to fall victim to things that have happened in our family's history. We can take action steps to actually improve. And one of the best things about this is if you know that to be true, you now have an opportunity. You now have an opportunity to break that chain in your family. If your whole family has had these health problems, you now, because you understand that you have power to make a choice, can break that chain in your family. And you can say, you know what, it stops with me. I'm going to be the difference maker in my family. And one of my favorite things is there's an old Indian proverb that says, change a man, change his next 7 generations. How powerful is that? How powerful is it to understand that I now have an opportunity to change not only myself and my family, but my legacy for 7 generations to come. And that's why I love this science and what's going on so much. So what we want to talk about today is activation over supplementation. All right, so I've been in the health and wellness business now for 13 years, guys, and I am an absolute nerd in the business. I love research. You can ask the guy I'm introducing in a minute, I literally read medical journals for fun. It's any way I can learn to optimize human potential, I'm all about it. So I want to know all the intricate details of everything, and I completely go down the rabbit hole too much. But when I learned about activation over supplementation, it blew my mind. Because my entire life, playing college football, being an athlete, I was always taking supplements. I was always looking for that little edge to help me perform better, to help me have more energy, to help me recover better, sleep better, whatever it was. I was always looking for that edge. And I was doing something called supplementation, which supplementation is just making up for a deficiency. So if you're not eating enough vitamin E, you have to then take a vitamin E supplement because you're not getting enough. But then I learned about, hold on, you mean to tell me there's ways we can actually activate the body to produce what it needs to produce on its own? I was mind blown, because we can all agree the human body has amazing, amazing potential, right? It's just like, a Ferrari. If you put ethanol in a Ferrari, it's not going to run right, correct? But if you put racing fuel in a Ferrari and you put Andretti in a Ferrari, now you've got something. Well, our bodies are the same way. We just have to understand that we can actually activate our body and turn on these amazing survival genes. Okay, this is my nerd side, y'all. Okay, so I am an absolute nerd, guys. I love Marvel. All right, and Doctor Strange is one of my favorite movies because it deals with how powerful the mind is. But the reason I wanted to show you that is you saw him controlling time and watching that apple decay, right? That's the aging process, guys. And he was just fast forwarding time and that apple decayed and withered away. But what he was able to do was you saw him turn back the clock and take that apple back to its original form. And that's something I want to talk to you about, because when we talk about activation and activating survival genes in your body, we've tapped into some of that potential. We've tapped into a way to slow down the clock. So we look at that apple. When you cut up an apple and leave it on a shelf, it starts to brown. That's something called oxidative stress. So that apple has been exposed to oxygen and it starts breaking down. I love that example and I love that movie because literally that's what's happening in every cell of your body 24/7. We have something called oxidative stress, which breaks down the cells. Okay? And this is kind of an example of it here. But as scientists started to realize something called oxidative stress, and they started looking at it, the more they looked at it, the more they realized what oxidative stress causes. So they started looking at, okay, if the cells are breaking down, what does that lead to? And then they started realizing it affects everything. Every cell in your body is getting affected by oxidative stress. So as we look at things like psoriasis, kidney disease, arthritis, asthma, Alzheimer's, inflammation, sclerosis, diabetes, retinal degeneration, your eyes, cardiac fibrosis, we're looking at all these things. This is stuff that our family has, right? This is the stuff that people in our lives are suffering with right now. And now we understand where it's coming from. So when scientists say that oxidative stress is the #1 cause of aging and disease, that's a big deal. Yeah. How many people do you know are searching and trying to find antioxidants right now? It's one of the hot terms right now in the supplement world. Why? Because oxidative stress, we're producing up to a sextillion free radicals a day. And free radicals is what causes oxidative stress. So if we're producing up to a sextillion free radicals a day, and we go and find an antioxidant, let's just say vitamin C, great antioxidant, but it's what's called a direct antioxidant. And a direct antioxidant, let's just say you take 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C. Well, it's going to combat 2,000 of those sextillion free radicals. Congratulations, you're throwing a Dixie cup on a house fire, is what you're doing. And you wonder why you're not seeing the benefits of it. So that's an example of direct antioxidants, which is supplementation. But what we actually have found is there is a way, to turn on a system in your body to activate a pathway in your body. And when I saw this number for the first time, I was absolutely blown away because I'm a research nerd. And when you look at typical supplements don't do this. So I said, hold on, proven to lower oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days. And understanding what oxidative stress does in the body, I didn't believe that number when I first saw it because research doesn't do this. Research doesn't find numbers this high. You might find a 1 to 3%, maybe if you're lucky a 5% reduction or increase or whatever the scientific findings are. You might see some incremental changes, but a 40% in 30 days and now we're seeing up to a 70% in 120 days? I'm like, okay, no, let me go and research this because I need to know. I need to know all the ins and outs about this. And what was crazy was I'm starting to understand why. I'm starting to understand activation versus supplementation. And the first time this bottle was ever handed to me, I looked at it and I'm like, okay, cool product. But I turned around and looked at the ingredients, and it was funny. Here I am, I've been in the health and wellness business for 13 years. When I found this product, I was taking every single one of those individually. I actually have the picture of me opening my medicine cabinet and those bottles in there. I'm like, okay, I understand the individual ingredients. I understand what every single one of them does, and I love them. I'm already taking them. But why this? Why this product? And that's when I went down the rabbit hole of research. Guys, this is what sold me. And when I say sold me, this is what I want you to understand. I've been in this business for a long time of health and wellness. I've helped hundreds of clients. I've worked with rock stars. I've worked with professional athletes, UFC fighters. I've worked with some of the highest performers in the country. And I didn't understand activation. So I started taking the product. I started giving it to my clients. And at the same time, I'm looking at this, universities and institution study. Here's the significance of this, guys. Being in this business and understanding what supplementation is, I would always do my research, but here's what I kept finding. A company would publish its own research. I'm going to pay a university to study my product so I can get this result. And I'm going to need them to keep studying this product until I get this result, because I'm not going to publish it unless they get me this result. That's what I was finding in the research world. But then I look at this, and Ohio State, National Institute of Aging, Harvard, American Heart Association, Louisiana State is doing independent research on this product. And here's what independent research is. Independent research is, hey, there's something about that product. We need to study it. It's not the company that produces this product putting it out there. It's the research university saying there's something to that. We need to learn more. And to date, there's now 26 studies on PubMed.gov. That blew my mind. Because I've been in the industry for so long and I've done the research, and guys, there's no other product like that that's actually been studied on PubMed. I'm like, that is unbelievably significant. So when I finished diving into the research, when I say it sold me, in being in the business for 13 years, I never once put my name on a product. I never once did. I didn't believe in another Me Too product. Oh, you have a protein powder? Me too. Oh, you have a multivitamin? Me too. I couldn't get behind that because so many products out there just kind of reimagine Slim Fast. Yeah. And I'm like, that's cool, but no, it's not for me. But when I saw this, that I can get behind. It's the first product by name I ever recommended to my clients. And after watching what this product did in my clients and myself, I was blown away. Because I'd never seen anything work like this. I'd never seen anything do what this does. And what it led to was we've taken this science of activation and we've put it into other products. And what you find by activation versus supplementation is how effective the products are. There's other products that are quote unquote comparable. But then when you look at the numbers, they're not. The number one product out there besides ours that lowers oxidative stress boasts a 3 to 5% decrease in oxidative stress. Wow. Hey, congratulations. We're 40%. Like, we're comparing almost apples and oranges here. Our newest product out activates your survival genes in your body. It's called NAD. And the number one NAD product in the world that I actually took. I started taking it like 3 years ago when it first came out. Increases NAD production by 7%.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
How nice.
But the science behind this pathway in your body was so amazing that I hey, 7%, that's better than no percent. So I started taking it. But then when the science came out about what we have in activation versus supplementation, so supplementing I got 7%, activation I got 100%.
Wow.
And all it's doing is turning your body back on to do what it's supposed to do in the first place.
So cool.
So as we age, the systems in our body decrease. That's why we age, right? Our body, the immune system starts wearing down. Our antioxidant production starts wearing down. Our hormones slow down. So our body slows down as we age. And we tried making up for that with supplements. But now with activation, we can turn those systems back on. And we can rev them back up. While we can't say that, this is the fountain of youth, what we can say is we activate your body to do what it's supposed to do. And we're the only all-natural products in the world that can make claims like we lower oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. We can say that. National Institute of Aging said that we can extend life by 7%. Those are significant findings that no other product in the world can even come close to putting their name on. That's what sold me. That's why I said, you know what? I'm all in. And still to this day, when people try debating me, what I love is like, hey bro, I'm sorry. Look, you're smart, but you're not smarter than Harvard. You're not smarter than the American Heart Association, LSU, who studied the product 3 times because the first time they did, the significance of their findings were too great and they didn't believe it. So they studied 2 more times to prove what they proved in the first one, just because of how great the results were. It broke the chain in melanoma. It's crazy. So to be able to stand behind something with 100% conviction in what it does in the human body makes you bulletproof in what we have our hands on. And saying, I don't care how smart you are, you're not smarter than 26 of the best universities in the world. Mayo Clinic, it's crazy. So only product of American Heart Association's ever spent money on, all natural product. So that gives us an incredible belief in these products because you can't deny science. Hey look, placebo effect is real, but so are blood tests. Go take your blood. Take the product and go take your blood, and I promise you, you can't deny those results. We've seen it too many times. Science has proven it to be true. So that's what we have our hands on. But what we're seeing right now, go back to earlier in the presentation, is the current state of the country. And what we're seeing is this.
11 with what might be a new frontier in the battle of the bones, the connection between your diet and your genes, but not the ones you wear.
Right. As researchers discover more about the human genome, they're also learning about how DNA and other biological markers may be able to help you determine the best foods for your body.
The science is also called nutrigenomics, and it's part of a market that's expected to generate $600 billion globally by 2020.
And this NBC News medical contributor, Dr. Natalie Azar.
So here's I think the bigger picture here is the idea of genomics in general, which, by the way, is already used in a variety of different fields: immunotherapy and oncology, biologic therapy for rheumatic disease. So the concept of nutrigenomics it's innovative and it's exciting, and we know that it's going to be probably a blockbuster for the future.
Wow.
So the word nutrigenomics, that's the science of what we have our hands on. The ability for us to put nutrition in our body and change the way our genes express themselves. We talked earlier about biohackers, right? We're programmable systems. So now science is once again proving that we have more power than we think. We actually have the power through nutrition to change the way our genes are expressed. And here's national news talking about how powerful that is and how big it's about to be. So guys, I'm about to bring up a very good friend of mine, actually my mentor and one of the closest people to me in this world.